Welcome back to LEGO Battlebots Season 3. Kicking off the third episode of the season is Thunderbolt versus Duck. Now, both of these machines made the round of 16 last season. Thunderbolt, a bit of a decline for it, but Duck, a significant improvement over Season 1. Duck is very durable, but that lifter is very unreliable, which could very well be a problem against the very powerful flipper of Thunderbolt. However, Duck's beak will give it an advantage in the ground game, as Thunderbolt does not have any cheese slope wedges, and that will be a huge advantage towards Duck. This could really go either way. It's all going to depend on those early exchanges. It might not even depend on that, but Duck might have to win this fight quickly. Let's see what happens down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Duck getting underneath Thunderbolt, just as expected with that cheese slope wedge beak. Now able to grab Thunderbolt, put him in the corner. Now trying to get the Flipper King onto the screws, and they do. Thunderbolt gets off very easily, but Duck not eager to let Thunderbolt try and get underneath. Duck now flips Thunderbolt over and gets them into the pits. It was a very quick fight, but it was very dominant by Duck and demonstrated exactly what they needed to do. They got underneath Thunderbolt, grabbed them, managed to throw them into the screws, which didn't really do much, but just showed how good Duck was. And they just Duck just threw Thunderbolt into the pit very early on, taking a dominant win against one of their toughest opponents in the first round. That is huge, as Duck advances to 1-0. Our second fight is between Deadlift and Retribution. Now, neither of these bots really had a good overall record. Deadlift overall 2-5, Retribution overall 3-5. But both bots went 2-2 last season, are looking to do better the third time around. You know, Deadlift does have low wedges, but we've seen them be compromised by vertical spinners like Titan in the past, but Retribution also has one of the worst cheese slope wedges in the entire field. So the ground game is not really with either of these bots. But if Retribution get underneath, they can do a lot of damage, while Deadlift can't really do too much. It's gonna be an interesting one. Let's see what happens down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Oh, great shot by Retribution to start, and a nice follow-up. Deadlift able to self-right, but this is not looking good for them early. Already a beast of the drive comes off, and there's another brutal shot. Retribution finishing the job there, and this fight is over. Deadlift in 3 massive chunks, all in and out of the arena. What a performance by Retribution. Retribution just got underneath Deadlift every time and just completely tore it apart. Hit after hit. Deadlift just could not keep up with the onslaught and was eventually ripped to shreds. Our next fight is between Big Dill and Subzero. Now, Big Dill is a rookie. They won a Challengers fight against Ice Wave in pretty dominant fashion in order to get here. Now they're taking on Subzero, which should be a decent matchup for them, as both bots have the cheese slope wedges, but only Big Dills are touching the ground due to Subzero's wheels. But Subzero always manages to find, not always, but sometimes manages to find some sneaky ways to win. It's not an opponent to be underestimated. I mean, sure, it's been dominated sometimes, but it's still very capable, and a rookie like Big Dill should not underestimate Subzero. But let's see what happens down in the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Big Dill getting underneath Subzero, trying to get them into screws, but instead winds up flipping them over. But Subzero still vulnerable, and this is a good position for Big Dill to be in. Now they've got Subzero in the corner, trying to lift them out of the arena already, and they do so. I don't know how those forks stayed on during that final lift, but it's very good for Big Dill. They dominated this fight. They got underneath Subzero early, took control, and just threw them out of the arena. A dominant performance by the rookie to give them their first win of the season and second win of their career. Next up on the fight card is Yeti versus Talon. Yeti, Season 1's number 4 overall seed, made it all the way to the quarterfinals before getting knocked out. In Season 2, it was not able to repeat its success, but went 2-2, getting the 32 seed and getting easily taken out by the number 1 seed and eventual champion Sawblaze. It's still a very capable bot, it's got very durable, it's got good lifting bolts, but it really lacks a lot in the ground game. So you can actually see under the front of the bot, which is not good when you're taking on a bot like Talon, who has a very powerful weapon and very good wedges, though I've accidentally messed up configuration. So that's oh yeah, never mind. But Talon is a very dangerous opponent to face, but they do have durability issues with their wedges. So it's going to be very interesting to see if Talon can knock out Yeti before this works him off, or if Yeti will outlast Talon. Let's see what happens down in the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Both bots spin up, and it's Talon getting underneath Yeti as expected. But those forks already seem to have taken some damage. There's a great shot, and indeed one of the forks of Talon has come off, and there it goes flying away. And another fork came off during that shot as well. Talon already taking damage to its ground game, as Yeti almost now kind of in the screws. Talon trying to force them up there, but it just doesn't work. Yeti is just too heavy for that to happen a lot. But now Talon gets a more successful attempt, as Yeti really in the screws this time. Now Talon maintaining control here, but it's not. Oh, there! Whoa! Both bots flip over. Yeti can self-right. Talon cannot. Now Yeti trying to land another shot, finish the job. Ooh, there's a little flip around by Yeti, and Yeti's still struggling with the drum finger. That just happened so much. But now there's a little push, and that's gotta be the end of this. Yeti backing away. The countdown has started, and Yeti will indeed outlast Talon and take its first win of the season. For much of the start, it looked like Talon wasn't doing incredible, but they were still winning. They flipped Yeti over, they threw it around a couple times, they got him into the screws a few times. However, Yeti was slowly breaking down those forks, and even if Yeti didn't flip Talon over in that shot, it may not have gone well for Talon had the fight progressed. Yeti was just too heavy for Talon to land a kill shot on. Yeti just was able to survive and get the flip Talon over and get the knockout victory. Coming up next is Eye of the Storm versus Copperhead. A very dangerous full body spinner versus a significantly improved drum spinner. Eye of the Storm made it to the round 32 for the first time last season, despite losing twice to Biohazard. They just can't seem to get away from that, or can they? Either way, they are now at an overall record of 5-4, and there's a very dangerous bot, as I said. But their main weakness is wedges, but Copperhead has not had the greatest reliability over the past 2 seasons, but with its significant redesign, even though the weapon is not great, or at least not as good as it used to be, it is so much more durable. This Copperhead is much more resilient than it used to be, and that should help it significantly when taking on a reliable full-body spinner such as Eye of the Storm. But let's see what really happens down in the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Both bots spinning up, and there goes the wedge of Copperhead. Not great start to this fight. Look, how long can they last against Eye of the Storm? Their frame will be put to the test here against one of the most dangerous spinners in the competition. So far, Copperhead is holding up. Who knows how long that will last. This Eye of the Storm, very chaotic, spinning itself rather all around, all over the place. Copperhead just keeps charging, somewhat calmly into the fray, not scared of Eye of the Storm's weapon power. They're looking to do something to Eye of the Storm, maybe break off a part of that shell. But that's going to be very difficult. Eye of the Storm is fairly reliable. But Copperhead also seems to be very reliable himself. This is not going the way either of these bots would have hoped. Copperhead is taking a lot more shots than it could have before, while Eye of the Storm is still very much intact. And also in the arena. Both bots continue to go head to head. Oh, there's a little spin around there. Copperhead does a 180. And oh, jeez, Copperhead trying to get Eye of the Storm, pinned in the corner. They keep trying to pin him, but it's... And there's a little shot from the drone center, but the weapon power just isn't there. And there goes a chunk of the frame of Copperhead. They survive for a lot longer than we expected they would. However, it still ends up the same way. This fight is over. The countdown's already underway, and Eye of the Storm will be taking the knockout. The first shot foreshadowed what would happen in this fight, the wedge breaking off of Copperhead. But Copperhead, this rebuild, clearly they did something right with this. The original Copperhead would have died like the first shot after the wedge went off, or even when the wedge came off. But this Copperhead absorbed a ton of punishment from Eye of the Storm. And kudos to them for doing that. Obviously, Eye of the Storm got the win, so Copperhead won't really gain the benefits of that. But it's still a showcase of an impressive improvement by Copperhead. Hopefully they can do better in their next fights and salvage a winning record out of this season. Next up, we have Orbital Fire taking on Inverts. Orbital Fire, Season 1's #2 overall seed, fell from grace after its loss to Whiplash, only going 2-2 during Season 2. They're taking on Inverts, the Lisa Everidge machine, who got a great win and incredible back and forth against Blue Flame in their Challengers fight. Inverse definitely has the weapon power to knock out Orbital Fire, but they don't really have a good ground game, which is going to be challenging against Orbital Fire, who focuses on the ground game a lot more, as it is the flipper. Very interesting to see if Inverse will be able to get a victory here against tougher opposition, or if Orbital Fire will succumb to the rookie. Let's see what happens down in the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Oh, Inverse gets deflected off the front of Orbital Fire in the first exchange, but Inverse able to self-right-ish, get away, and now lines up for another attack, but already Orbital Fire gets inside. Oh, great flip there by Orbital Fire, and again out of the arena already. Inverse just could not get past the front flipper defenses of Orbital Fire. Orbital Fire could absolutely launch the lightweight body of Inverts. They only needed like 2 major flips to get Inverse out of the arena. For our penultimate fight, we have Jade Dragon taking on Lunar New Year. Both these bots have had some successes and failures. Lunar New Year has obviously had the more success, taking the #5 overall seed in Season 1, but both bots went 2-2 in Season 2. Both bots have very different weaknesses. Jade Dragon doesn't have the greatest weapon power, but is a very reliable bot, which allows it to outlast a lot of opponents. While Lunar New Year has a very powerful vertical spinner, however, its reliability is not great. Let's see how these differing styles and different strengths and weaknesses collide down in the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Lunar New Year already pinning Jade Dragon into the wall, but Jade Dragon able to escape. Neither bot really getting a good bite with our weapons, but Lunar New Year starting to pin Jade Dragon into the corner again now. Ooh, there's a little nice pop. And now Jade Dragon goes spinning, and Lunar New Year capitalizes on the opportunity, landing a massive uppercut on Jade Dragon, but Jade Dragon is okay. Yeah, but they haven't really done much this fight. another little attack. I think there might already be a crack forming in Lunar New Year's chassis. That would not be good for Lunar New Year, but they are right now dominating this fight, landing some serious nasty uppercuts. And there's another one flipping Jade Dragon over, but fortunately they do get back up there, very much able to self-right. And there's a little pop that sends them halfway across the arena. Lunar New Year completely in control right now. Jade Dragon needs to find an answer or simply fight longer. I don't know which one would work. Jade Dragon tries to get a little bit of a lift in, but now this doesn't work. But you can clearly see a crack in the right side of Lunar's frame, and also the left side starting to form as well. This is not very good. There's another nasty uppercut as Lunar New Year just lays the pressure on. Can Jade Dragon recover? Oh my goodness, Lunar New Year just splits in half. Jade Dragon getting a classic Jade Dragon win, waiting for its opponent to break down and taking the knockout victory, stealing it from their opponents. Lunar New Year looked absolutely incredible for all but the last 2 seconds of that fight. They were tossing Jade Dragon all around the arena. They're laying some nasty uppercuts like that, throwing him into a front flip. I think we've seen backflips, I don't think we've seen a front flip before. Lunar New Year's weapon power was on full display as Jade Dragon struggled to find a response, but it all came crashing down when Lunar New Year suddenly snapped in half, giving Jade Dragon the knockout victory. Alright everybody, it's time for the main event. Siege Engine taking on Whiplash. Siege Engine has been a consistent competitor. He's made to the quarterfinals in both Season 1 and Season 2, but has yet to go just one step further. Standing in his way is the reigning runner-up Whiplash, who after a shocking quarterfinal run back in Season 1 as the number 31 seed, they took their path all the way to the finals in Season 2, where they only lost to Nemesis and then becoming champion Sawblaze along the way. Both of these bots are incredible control bots with great ground game, but Siege Engine also has a little bit of improvement. You can see the very back of that front end lifter is a little bit different. This allows it to self-right, though it does slightly decrease the effectiveness of the weapon, but it's a very important weakness that has been fixed. This is going to be just an incredible fight between two great control bots. I genuinely don't know what's going to happen here, so let's find out down in the arena. Let the main event begin. Whiplash getting underneath Siege Engine, that's kind of surprising, and already flipping them over. Not the start Siege Engine is used to here, as Whiplash continues to push them around, as Siege Engine continues to remain upside down. They do get back right side up, and here they are getting underneath Whiplash, the defending runner-up, and now the one under fire here as Siege Engine puts them in the corner, and now slams them into the opposite wall. Now flips Whiplash over, but Whiplash quick to self-right, unlike Siege Engine was. Siege Engine getting underneath again, but not really getting much out of it. This is very surprising battle. Whiplash gets underneath, and there's a huge suplex. Siege Engine flip, but quickly able to self-right. That improvement already has come into great effect. Now Siege Engine in the screws now. Whiplash, there's another slam there. With the defending runner-up in control so far, and as they put Siege Engine down into the screws again, and that's not a good position. They could very well be stuck there. Or can Siege Engine get out and continue the fight? Does not appear to, but there they go. Siege Engine able to escape a Whiplash right back atop of him and throwing him out of the arena. That was a great fight. Whiplash had control for most of it. And Siege Engine got flipped in the first part, but able to counterattack and flip Whiplash in his own way. But Whiplash had control for pretty much the entire fight after that, landing an incredible suplex on here, which is the first of the moves that Whiplash landed. But Siege Engine was quick to self-right following that, showing that the improvement does actually help, and Siege Engine can now self-right. Whiplash threw Siege Engine into the screws twice. The second time, He thought they were a goner. The screws were not helping Siege Engine get out, even though they were first. But Siege Engine managed to escape. However, Whiplash, with the true capabilities of an S-tier robot, got right back on the attack and threw them out of the arena.